Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our mayoral election candidates forum, sponsored by the Patterson Municipal Council. My name is Sonia L. Gordon, and I'm the municipal clerk for the city of Patterson, and I'll be your moderator for this afternoon. At this time, I will ask everyone to rise for a moment of silence for one of our fallen officers, and Mr. Cruz will follow from there. Thank you.
Let's please have a moment of silence for our departed brother, Detective Tammy Yege, who served the city of Patterson for 13 years. And yesterday he laid down his life protecting the great city of Patterson and its great residents. Let's keep his family, our brother officers that are grieving at this time, in your thoughts and your prayers as we face this difficult time in the city of Patterson. Thank you.
Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Our thoughts and prayers are here for the family. We'll now continue our forum. The purpose of this forum is to formally present the mayoral candidates in the upcoming municipal election on Tuesday, May 8, 2018, and for you, the viewers, voters, to hear their platform and or views on which they are seeking to be elected to fill the office of mayor. There are 6 mayoral candidates, but you will only vote for one candidate on May 8th. The candidates listed on the ballot for the office of mayor are in alphabetical order. I will call them in alphabetical order. They're on the ballot by their 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A. At this time, I will present to you our 6 candidates: Mr. Alex Cruz, Mr. Michael Jackson, Mr. William Bill McCoy, Mr. Alex Mendez, Mr. Pedro Rodriguez, and Mr. Andre Sayer. Please use this forum to familiarize yourself with the candidates as well as to listen to their views. As moderator, I will strictly enforce the time allotted to each candidate, maintain the quorum of discipline, and will intervene in the event of any deviations from the spirit and purpose of the forum. I must ask that candidates show respect and courtesy to each other. Each candidate will have 5 minutes to present his opening remarks in alphabetical order. Each candidate is permitted to ask the other candidate 3 questions in one round, and the responsive candidates will have 2 minutes to respond. There will be absolutely no rebuttal at any candidate, whether you are the one asking or responding to a question. Candidates will have 5 minutes to wrap up or give his closing remarks. I'm also joined today by some of my staff members, Ms. Joan Campbell-Douglas, Deputy Clerk, who will monitor the time, Ms. Jacqueline Murray, Administrative Secretary, and Ms. Paola Ruiz, Administrative Secretary. Thank you, and we'll now begin the forum. At this time, I will begin with our first candidate for opening remarks, who will be Mr. Alex Cruz, and he has 5 minutes to respond, for his opening remarks. Mr. Cruz, you may begin.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having us out here. I want to first start by thanking City Clerk, Mrs. Gordon, fellow candidates, our council members, and most importantly, our Honorable Janie Williams, our mayor. On May 8th, just 16 days from now, the City of Patterson, you, the residents, are going to have to elect an individual that's going to be representing you, your family, and the great city of Patterson for the next 4 years. Have you been seeing by a couple of mayoral debates, whether social media or on public access channel, a lot of the candidates have been indicating that public safety is priority number 1. Well, I'm going to tell you about the candidate Alex Cruz. I am that law and order public safety candidate. Alex Cruz has been embedded in the city of Patterson for 24 years on the front lines of our city. Alex Cruz has left blood, sweat, and tears on the pavement of the city of Patterson, protecting you, your family, our children, and the entire city of Patterson through every single ward. Alex Cruz is that law enforcement advocate that will give you cleaner streets, will give you safer streets, by providing that example of a true leader, leading by example in the front line. Alex Cruz will make sure that I restore the pride back into the residents by giving you cleaner, safer streets, giving you cleaner parks, and stop all the illegal activities that take place in our parks that our children can enjoy. Alex Cruz will continue to be the biggest advocate for our youth, to make sure that we are given the opportunity to bring in recreational programs to safeguard our children by giving them an avenue, something away from the streets. Alex Cruz will be the biggest advocate with the Board of Education members and also the Superintendent, Mrs. Schaefer, to make sure that we are given the opportunity that our children desperately need in the Board of Educational process, to make sure we are given all the tools necessary for our children to go. Alex Cruz will bring in the Inspector General to make sure we restore confidence back into the government, which will stop waste, abuse, fraud, and all the corruption that's in our city. Alex Cruz will be the biggest advocate to make sure that economic development comes in here. And it all starts with public safety. I will reach out with the Fortune 500 companies, the philanthropists. I will reach out to every single state, federal entity to make sure that we get retention grants, hiring grants, to make sure that I'll bring in more than 100 police officers to safeguard the streets. Alex Cruz will bring in the substations necessary to curb the crime in the belly of the beast in our city. Alex Cruz will be the biggest advocate to make sure that this city is given the opportunity that it rightfully deserves so that our children, our seniors, could enjoy the streets as they're designed to be enjoyed. Alex Cruz, as your next mayor, will be the leader, just like our former Frank Graves, an individual that led by example, being out in the streets at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Alex Cruz has lived that life. And as your mayor, on May 8th, I will continue to lead by example my entire career. This individual is committed. This individual has a passion. This individual has a commitment to the city of Patterson. And it's to make sure that we are given the opportunity, that our children, our seniors, are given the opportunity to make sure that we make Patterson a vibrant city that it's supposed to be. Alex Cruz on 4A on May 8th as the mayoral candidate and the only advocate for public safety with 24 years embedded in our streets and our pavement. Alex Cruz will continue that dedication that I've dealt with my entire life and make sure that this work ethic that I have will be given to you, your family, your children, and our great city of Patterson. May God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. We'll now hear from our next candidate who will present his 5-minute statement, Mr. Michael Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you may.
Madam Clerk, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Patterson. Thank you for taking time out to investigate and do your due diligence in finding out who would be the best person suited to lead our community, our city, into the future. My name is Mike Jackson. I'm a dedicated Pattersonian. I've been an avid supporter of what's right in our community. I have been the person that I would like to think has been diligent on standing fast and standing hard on what is absolutely right for the community. I have sat in this chair, this exact chair, as a matter of fact, for the past 2.5 years, and I've stood alone on many instances on things that I knew was definitely wrong for Patterson. I've advocated hard and therefore have lived up to the name that was placed placed on my first campaign as the advocate, consistently advocating for what was right for Patterson, regardless of whomever brought the measure forward. If I was in difference of any other council person or the administration and the measure was being brought forward that was favorable for the community, I would not ever stand against it only for my own political positioning. This is what we've been witnessing for the past several decades. We've been witnessing political agendas that have taken over and quite frankly, have destroyed the integrity of our city. We have innocent people walking around in our community that have no idea on what the decisions that are being made and how they're being impacted by them. I've stood strong and stood fast each and every night, regardless. I've done my due diligence. I've done my homework. I've never come to this dais without the information that was best suited for the community. I've always voted for the utmost, highest integrity, of which I cannot say that I've seen that being done since my tenure here and before and prior to. Unfortunately, we have to live with some harsh realities and some real facts. And the fact is, our community has not been getting driven in the right direction for quite some time. And each and every one of you, I think, would be willing to acknowledge that. We have sat and watched some people do poor things, make poor decisions, and we have not said anything. We have sat and been a part of poor decisions and beneficial situations that are unfavorable for the community. And I'm proud to say that I have never done so. I've never placed myself in a position to compromise my integrity or the best positioning for the community. And each and every measure that I've stood strong and fast against, I have yet to be challenged on. I've fought hard against instances and issues such as $500,000 fences that do not benefit the city. I fought hard against poor spending, poor decision-making processes for the Hinchcliffe Stadium. It has sat dormant for almost 15 years, and yet and still we've seen no progress, but we spent millions of dollars on it thus far, in the amount of $3 million. The roads, they're in deplorable conditions. Properties that have been purchased that I've stood hard against and been non-favorable for properties that have been purchased against the betterment of our community. Let me not have to mention the all well-known trailer park that's being placed there that is not servicing the needs of our community. The 30-year park arrangement. I've brought measures forward that have not been looked upon favorably for other political reasons. People like Ray Lewis, who've taken time out to come here and assist our community with moving us forward in the areas of green energy and creating jobs and opportunities for our people. My job as the mayor would be to bring the absolute utmost best scenarios forward for the community, the Patterson residents first, without political agenda, without political affiliations, without anyone tied to me or telling me this is the direction you're going in. Patterson has been driven for too long with too many ambitious politicians. I'm the non-politician, and I stand hard in that position. I would continue to advocate for our community, and I want to be the one to drive our community forward, to do what's right by the young people, by the seniors, by all of the people who reside in this community. My name is Michael Jackson. I'm the ballot position 5A. I've been the absolute most consistent, the utmost avid fighter for what's right, and no one can contest that, and no one has paralleled that notion. I hope to gain your support on May 8th, and I hope to move our community forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Our next candidate to present his 5 minutes opening remarks would be Mr. William Bill McCoy. Mr. McCoy, you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
To the residents of our great city of Patterson, and to all of my fellow candidates for the office of mayor, I extend to you a special greeting. Certainly our condolences to the police department and the city of Patterson, the loss of one of our police officers this week. And I know that has to be a difficult challenge for all of us. Patterson is in a critical situation now. We are fiscally in a jam, if you would, and it seems just yesterday, in my mind, I was a young kid running around the halls of John F. Kennedy and playing on Pennington Park's fields. But things have changed, and we are here. I'm Councilman Bill McCoy. I have been serving this municipal council for the last 17 years, going on 18. I am, in fact, the longest-serving councilman. And I come to you with the experience of not only the council, but also serving on the Board of Education, where I served as president as well. This young kid that graduated from John F. Kennedy High School went on to William Patterson, earned a degree in accounting and finance, later went on to work for New Jersey Bell through its many names for 21 years in the telecommunication field. On a rotation to Belcor, also served as a project manager and developer of the Schools and Libraries Corporation program that was being instituted by the federal government to connect schools and libraries to the internet. So I have the accounting and finance background. I have an auditing background for over 20 years, and I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets. At this critical time, I believe that I'm well prepared to wrestle with the hard decisions of the city of Patterson and to come up with the right solutions and the right answers. This recently, the Moody's rating organization upgraded Patterson's bond rating. And one of the reasons they did that, they cited our stable financial situation, although we're in difficult times, and the fact that we were able to approve our budgets and to move forward. Those were difficult decisions for us, but it yielded us a benefit in that our credit rating is much better, which means that we will pay less in interest charges for bonds and other financing that we have to do. What does that mean to us as a city? Similar to you at home, whether you're a credit card or buying a car, the lower your credit score, the higher interest you pay, which means you put out more money out of your pocket. So I'm one of those council people that are willing not to hide from the hard decisions or the tough issues that face us, but have the gusto and the business savvy to understand the decisions that we must make. I put forth that we need to wrestle with all of those issues across the city, trying to make sure that we have, economic development in our city, that we can attract new businesses. And a fine example of that has to be Route 20, and taking literal action on the municipal council to make that possible, to make sure our streets are safe and clean, make sure we increase our revenue resources, as we talked about the expansion of DPW, making that effective. We've also implemented a program that the fire department, in conjunction with DPW, will begin to do our demolition in-house, thereby saving the city of Patterson. These are initiatives and strategies that we must continue to employ in order to improve the condition of our city for all of our residents, along with streamlining our services and making sure that we advance technology in our city and that technology works for us and give us a return on investment. I am Councilman Bill McCoy, 6A on the ballot, and I recommend on May 8th that we go out and vote for sound experience and proven leadership. I've lived in this community for over 40 years. My wife and I have raised 3 children, all born and raised in the city of Patterson, attended Patterson Public Schools, and we are a part of this community. And that is why I'm putting myself forward as a candidate for mayor. I have the heart, the passion, the skill set, and the understanding of the difficult issues that we face and how we can resolve those issues in our best interests. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to present. I think this year has been the greatest number of forums and debates that we've seen in a mayoral candidate. And I'm excited about that, because the more you know about us, is the more qualified you'll be to make your selection on May 8th. God bless you, and thank you for your commitment and service in the city of Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Our next candidate to present his opening 5-minute statement will be Mr. Alex Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good afternoon, Patterson. Before I open with my five-minute remark, I would like to also express my deepest condolences to the family of that great officer that lost his life in this week. We lost a great officer in the city of Patterson. For me, it's been a great privilege to serve in the city of Patterson for the past 9 years. I'm currently serving as your councilman at large, but I started in 2010. I've been calling Patterson my home for close to 20 years, coming into the city, raising my family, my 3 beautiful children, attending Patterson Public School. And in 2010, the resident of the city of Patterson gave me the privilege to start serving as your board commissioner at the Board of Education, fighting to make sure that we have a better school system. I proved my leadership at the Board of Education, introducing legislation like that uniform policy legislations, but also fighting to have a better curriculum and improving our safety at the Board of Education. And one step extremely important is to regain local control, and in collaboration with my fellow board member, we make that happen. In 2014, I have the privilege again to be elected as your councilman at large, and since then, I've been working day and night, putting Patterson first, making every decision on behalf and for the benefit of the resident of the city of Patterson. And I will continue to do so as your next mayor this May 8, 2018, 1A on the ballot. And it's extremely important that we understand that we're going through a very difficult time in the city of Patterson, and I believe that it's time to put Patterson first right now by bringing the right safety plan in place to bring safety into all our neighborhood, not only one section of the city of Patterson. It's time to put Patterson first with Alex Mendez as your mayor by bringing the most aggressive recreational program into the city of Patterson to give our children the opportunity that they deserve in partnership with the Patterson Board of Education, making sure that we utilize those resources that we have at this time to serve in a better capacity, and also utilizing the resources that we have at the county level. They deserve more from us, and the only way that we're going to take our children off the street is by giving them that opportunity. And I will be that person, I will be the mayor who will connect those 3 entities to work together to move Patterson in the right direction. And I've been advocating for effective shared services agreement from this position for the past almost 4 years. And as your mayor, we will make that happen. And I also believe that it's time to put Patterson first with Alex Mendez as your mayor by bringing the most clean-up program into the city of Patterson. We have to clean our city. We have to change the image and the perception of our city. And I also believe that it's time to put Patterson first with Alex Mendez by introducing responsible budget that reflect the quality of service that our community deserves. And off and off by introducing irresponsible budget into every year, fiscal year. And I will be that person, I will be that mayor. My heart is in this city. And I've been proving that not before I've been elected into a position. And something very important that the community knows is that I'm everywhere. You don't see Alex Mendez only on election day. I use my community service, my community activity to be close to the community. You see Alex Mendez putting an event together in every corner of the city of Patterson, because that's the only way that you will understand the need of the section of the city of Patterson. That's the only way that you will be able to help the community. And what I will promise to you now is that Alex Mendez will be a mayor who's going to be out there in the street, fighting to make sure that we have the city that we all deserve, changing the image and the perception of the city, and fighting for our residents. And I've been doing that. I've been taking every decision, just thinking and putting our Pattersonian first. And that's something that we have to put in place. Something that I will promise to my Pattersonian is that we will put in place the most diverse administration. And we will definitely initiate with a transitional team that reflects the community that we have in the city of Patterson. To put Patterson first by giving the opportunity of those positions that we have in the city of Patterson to our Pattersonian, not to outsiders. We have to put Patterson first. But actions speak louder than words, and I will be the mayor who will take those decisions. I'm a man of action, and you see me through my community activity, giving toys every year to thousands of children just to be close to the community and listen to their concern, helping people to get health coverage just to listen to their need and their concern, helping the community to make sure that they get the opportunity to buy property in the city of Patterson, to get those funding, to listen to those needs in our community. I will be that mayor for you. I will be the person that will fight day and night to make Patterson better. I've been proving my leadership, and I'm ready to put Patterson first with Alex Mendez as your mayor, and I'm 1A on the ballot. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome, Mr. Mendez. Thank you. Our next candidate will be Mr. Pedro Rodriguez, who will present his 5-minute opening statement. Mr. Rodriguez, you may begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for organizing this event in which we're going to be able to display and present our plans to the residents of the city of Patterson. I want to start by thanking God for giving us the opportunity to be here because, as many of you know, we lost an officer yesterday, so our hearts and prayer are with that family and the police department in the city of Patterson. I also want to thank my team, and especially within my team, my wife that is sitting in the audience there, for having the courage, the resiliency, and for all of your commitment to this city, the city that we love. To the residents of the city of Patterson, I came to Patterson when I was 12 for the very first time. I went to 47 North York Street in the 4th Ward, where my 2 grandparents were renting a 2nd-floor apartment. My grandparents were just regular Pattersonians working in factories, but that opportunity that Patterson gave them gave me an opportunity to acquire an education. I'm an electronic engineer with a master's in business and administration from Mercy College, New York, and I serve and work close to 20 years for the largest telecommunication company in the world. I was an operations manager in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. As soon as I was able to save some money with my wife, the first place that we wanted to buy, we did it here in the city of Patterson. So we bought our first home in 104 North 6th Street between Clinton and Jefferson in the 1st Ward, where we grow and we had all of our kids. A few years later, after moving into the 1st Ward, I moved to the 3rd Ward. Me and Graciela, we have 4 boys that attend Patterson Public Schools. They walk the same streets that you walk and your children walk. They go to the same schools, they go to the same park, and we feel the same things that you feel as a family. The fear of how crime has been taking us and taking every single corner in the city of Patterson. My children, as well as your children, are deprived of recreational opportunities, educational opportunities, and jobs. As a public servant, I was elected to the Board of Education in 2009. I was commissioner of the zoning board, commissioner of the planning board, and I was deputy mayor of the city of Patterson. And to be quite transparent and open with every single one of you, I was deputy mayor during the time of Joey Torres. But when I saw some of the things that, unethical things that the previous mayor was doing, I wrote a resignation letter and I handed it to the mayor because I wouldn't do anything that would embarrass my boys, my family, my community, or this city. We have laid out, if you look at my public experience, my private experience, gave me the opportunity to lay out a plan that is clear and consistent with the challenges that our city faces today. That's why reduction of crime is in our top priority. We are presenting a holistic plan and to approach and combat crime corner by corner in our city with solutions that will correct not only the root of the problem, but also is going to detain the increasing crime activities that we have in our street. For that, we will reform the police department so we can have more boots on the ground. We want to have a police department that reflects the diversity that our city residents have. We will double the number of public cameras that we have in the city, and we're going to upgrade the ones that we have. We're going to expand Eyes on Patterson program. We're going to promote Text for Tips. Much of the strategy of fighting crimes in the city hasn't been yielding the results that we all deserve. We are going to fight crime and change the way we fight crime by educating our children. Incarceration is not a solution for nonviolent criminals. So it's going to cost us a lot less to put a kid through a vocational school than sending them to a jail. In the state of New Jersey, it costs us more than $61,000 to keep an inmate during a full year. But if we decide to put them in Hohokus or a vocational school, it's only going to cost us $11,000 to $12,000. In terms of, that's why we're introducing what is going to be called saving lives, saving money. In regards of economic development, I'm the only one of all the candidates who has a holistic approach and presenting a plan that is going to empower the Pattersonians to acquire the abandoned properties. Some of my opponents have praised the reduction of abandoned properties in the city when developers continue to take it. That doesn't help the city. I want to see a city in which regular Pattersonians can acquire the properties and prosper in our city. That's why we are putting a plan together like that. In terms of finance, as soon as we get there, we are going to do a forensic audit of all of our finance departments to make sure that we eradicate corruption and all of the wasteful spending in the city. We will start with a zero-based budget in which every department head will have to tell us why they need to spend every single dollar, and we're going to analyze how those dollars are spent. Thank you very much. Pedro Rodriguez, 3A.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Our next candidate to present his 5-minute opening statement is Mr. Andre Sayer. Mr. Sayer, you may begin.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to first thank you for opening with a moment of silence in honor of our officer, Tammy Yegan. May he rest in eternal peace, and I want to extend my condolences to his family and his extended family within the Patterson Police Department. Patterson is the only home I've ever known. It's where I was raised by a single immigrant mother who drove a bus and was the driving force in my life. And my mother's dream was that I would receive a quality education and go on to become a productive citizen. And I'd like to think that I've made my mother proud, because I went to Seton Hall University and graduated with the highest honors, being the valedictorian of the class of 1997. And then I went on to Columbia University and earned my master's degree in public policy and administration. Proud to say that I've been a college professor for 18 years. And today, my wife and I, we're raising our 2 daughters here in Patterson. And in August, we're expecting a son. So for this, my only home, and the only home that my children have ever known, I believe that as a candidate for mayor, we're in need of home improvement in Patterson. And I'm running because I have a track record of making repairs. I faced a critical situation early on in my council career. Man was murdered across the street from a go-go bar on Robert Street. And we took swift action. We mobilized the residents, and we made sure that that go-go bar's doors would never open again, so that we would ensure safety in that section of South Patterson. Some months later, we had another situation, and this time on 21st Avenue, where in a infamous nightclub, you had an individual murdered inside after hours. Again, connecting with the community, communicating with the community, we're able to get positive results and ultimately shut that infamous go-go bar down. Another situation we were confronted with was the Lava Lounge, which was by far the most notorious nightclub on Montclair Avenue in South Patterson. The problem was that within this establishment, there was drugs, guns, prostitutes. And again, we took the fight to them. It ultimately ended up being a successful story for a working class neighborhood where these residents were only looking for a decent night's sleep. And today I'm proud to say that that once notorious nightclub that was compromising the quality of life for my residents in South Patterson is now a preschool for 75 children, and so they could receive a quality education, much like what my mother wanted for me. As a councilman, I've advocated and I've introduced legislation to improve people's lives. One example of the advocacy: hundreds of residents of the 6th Ward were paying thousands of dollars for flood insurance that they should have never paid for to begin with. There wasn't a flood in the area for 60 years. And so what we did was we took the fight to FEMA, and ultimately what was required was to revise the flood maps. And thankfully, because of our advocacy, the flood maps have been revised, and hundreds of Pattersonians are saving thousands of dollars every year because of our action. The 6th Ward has become safer over the course of 10 years. And as a result, it has become stronger. And it's a model it's the microcosm of what we can do in all 6 wards. We've reduced crime and increased investment, creating job opportunities for individuals. And as mayor, economic development will be a priority, but public safety comes first. At the end of next month, we'll have a substation in South Paterson, further ensuring the safety of our most vibrant business district in Paterson. Within the first 100 days of my administration, I will address public safety. We'll be hiring 28 new police officers who will be on foot patrol. Within the next year, we anticipate 70 retirements within the police department, which would potentially afford us an opportunity to hire even more police officers. Conceivably, for every 1 that retires, we can hire 3. I also want to finish the work that we're doing at the Great Falls. We'll be cutting a ribbon within the first 100 days of my administration on an amphitheater. Because if we're going to become a Renaissance city, we have to embrace the arts. And there's no reason why, from the train station to the Great Falls National Park, we can't create this entertainment epicenter. People tell me all the time that they want to spend money in Paterson, but they feel as if there isn't much to do, and they'd rather go elsewhere, whether it be Hoboken or Montclair. Within the first 100 days of my administration, we obviously will make accountability and transparency the order of the day. We must move beyond the crime and corruption that has plagued Paterson. I believe that I am qualified because of the record of results that I'm proud of. So Paterson should no longer be known as a city of the past. As mayor of Paterson, we'll make it a city of the future.